The series is called Why Public Schools Are Failing Black Students.
Mm-hmm.
And the conversation became less about race and more about class, and about the culture from which students come, and it starts even, pre-K. That if your parents are talking to you, which, not judging, but like if people are working a couple jobs to pay for their part, they're not spending as much time with their children, so they're not talking as much to them. So even those differences in attitudes towards education, if parents are working all the time and the kids don't have a chance to see their parents reading or engaging in activities, whereas a middle-class kid would see that.
So what's the difference?
They're sort of seeing these differences.
And results in regards?
Well, more in students' attitudes towards their education. So if a student comes in having less exposure to reading, less vocabulary because they don't spend as much time with adults, they get into kindergarten and they feel they are not working at the same level as the other kids, and so they start to have behavior problems. So not only do they start to see, okay, well, I'm not good at this school thing, but I'm also the bad kid, and then that goes,
yeah,
it gets to be an exponential thing.
Yeah.
And unfortunately in this country that can align with race. Not always, but it can.
I was trying to figure out if that applied to me, because my parents work on a 24/7 basis, and I don't necessarily get to engage with them as much as I would like to, but
they clearly value education.
Yeah, exactly.
They
yeah.
you in schools.
But a
they're
parent,
sending you that message.
yeah, but a parent that's working 2-3 jobs to get their child in school isn't that kind of the same thing?
Well, again, this is not my argument. I was listening to this last night, but I think, or families who might not just have that. Just to use myself as an example, my mom read all the time. My parents valued education. I got that message in lots of ways. They were constantly talking to me about what I did in school. My mom went back to school when I was a kid. They were constantly working on me with, that message was sent, and I think I will then transmit that. They got that from their parents, and I'll transmit it to my kids. And that might not be the history in all families. Regardless of race, sometimes it can be, and sometimes it can align on class, right? If you have, in certain areas of this country, right, you have plenty of people, regardless of race, whose parents didn't go to college, and their parents, my husband's grandmother didn't finish, she went through 8th grade. She's like a math genius, but she grew up on a farm, and,
very odd.
Just that's as much school as the family was willing to do for her. You see what I'm saying? And her father probably didn't go to school at all. He grew up on the farm and made it work.
What you're saying is the message of parents kind of sent to the children, it kind of goes.
Right, it got a little bit better.
Yeah.
But it didn't get that much better. She
only
went through 8th grade.
Yeah.
But that, as the generations go down, that culture can change in a family.
That's interesting.
So I think that's what they were referring to.
That's interesting.
Or if you're in a neighborhood where not a lot of people are working, you don't have the role models, if you're in a low-income neighborhood where people are out of work. I think that, again,
Yeah, because Mr. Tillman said that his school, there were the kids, that were into drugs and really weren't focused on school. And he said he got along with those type of people. But then he also, he got along with those people, but then he didn't let them know, on an academic level that he was, kind of focused and, so, I don't know. I guess that's what I was saying. I think it kind of depends on the student and who you are and how ambitious you are. Because
you can rise above. It's impossible to rise above your circumstances. I agree. And then does that become this weird kind of self-fulfilling prophecy if we're saying, kids can't rise above. They're from these horrible neighborhoods where we can't ever expect them to rise above. And that's the whole point of school, right? Is that it takes you to a better place. You better yourself. So